This is the GV Podcast, a variety review podcast featuring two of the three idiots giving their thoughts on cartoons and anime. This is an opinion-based podcast, and there's no way we're saying our thoughts and opinions are objective. Keep this in mind and enjoy the show. Nipple lasers! If I had a nickel for every time I was confused, I'd have so many nickels, and then I'd forget where all these nickels are coming from, and then I would be buried under a pile of nickels, spontaneously spawning because I'm so confused.
So what the fuck did you guys watch?
Hello everybody, my name's Mayhem.
I'm Jinsu.
I'm Duke.
And today we're here to talk about the second part, the finale of Dressrosa.
Yeah. Basically from when it's Luffy saying, like, I'm going to kick Doflamingo's ass to when he does it.
And I gotta say, this has to be a very highly rated arc for me. Like, with this finale, like, we did a part one of like the setup and all that kind of stuff, and I was like, oh, okay, all right. And then the payoffs and everything for everything that they set up.
It became one of my favorites.
Oh my god. Gear 4 is awesome.
Yeah, no, this is more than likely, Jinzu, I know you didn't watch it, but this is probably the part that you've heard the most about because
Snake
it's
Man.
like all the big stuff. Like, you got Senor Pink, you've got Gear 4.
You got nipple lasers.
You got nipple lasers. You've heard about that one.
You got Zoro cutting Pika in half.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember when this arc came out and the One Piece fandom was losing their shit over it because it was pretty good.
This is the post time skip Alabasta.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what it is.
And
What?
It's basically what if Alabasta but time skip.
what if Alabasta would time skip? What if
Because you've got a princess, you've got a kingdom in trouble, and all the root cause is the warlord and his group of other criminals.
diabolical organization? And what if Crocodile didn't get absolutely nerfed in the beginning?
Also, you've got a fruit that is very similar to a Logia in the form of a Paramecia that can create everything into strings.
Yeah, but this one has one of the best. This Dressrosa has one of the best backstories. We talked about one last time with Soldier and all that kind of stuff. This time, Senor Pink
I was right.
and Law have some really, really fucking good backstory to tell, and the fact that he's Watergate D Law or whatever it was.
Did you just say Watergate?
D Law.
D-Law?
Isn't that what it was?
No.
Trafalgar D.
Trafalgar.
Water Law.
Trafalgar D Water Law. Yeah.
Because it's in reference to Waterloo, but he's called Water Law because of law, obviously.
So they made it more relevant.
So
yeah.
he wanted to have a cool way of just calling him Law, but expanded it to
The hidden name.
Water Law, so Waterloo.
And that he is a D. He's a D.
And
He's a D-haver.
there's also the point when you get the expanded, the whole thing of, God damn it. But you get the whole expanded.
It's been a while.
He's a D-haver. He will impregnate your wife.
I'll say that was a funny one. I think we haven't. I don't know if it even showed up, but there's a clip of Robin in the past talking to Law, and she asked about the Will of D. But yeah, let's build up to it.
The build up. But Luffy, this one ways to back it up. Now I'm not just saying that because I'm just so angry.
It feels weird to say this. I just realized as well that when it comes down to it, you can look at the rest of Island, which is basically Reverse Mountain. You've got Punk Hazard, which is essentially
Drum Island.
Reverse. No, it's what was it called? No, oh shoot, there was a name for it. Whiskey Peaks,
Whiskey Peaks.
which was all the gravestone that made it look like a cactus.
Yeah, yeah.
Where Zoro was really cool.
Where Zoro does one of the coolest things he ever does, ever.
Then you get Alabasta, and so I would say the next few arcs, like basically Whole Cake and all them, that I would lump in as essentially Skypiea.
Skypiea, yeah.
Skypiea Jaya.
Because like I've heard people like, especially after, it's funny how the algorithm knows where I am in One Piece, because like I get people talking about Dressrosa now. There are scenes that I've only just now seen that I get randomly recommended, and the fact that there are some people that are actively, that I see them say that like just skip Whole Cake, like they say it, like almost in the same vein as
Pacing
Skypiea.
is rough.
Yeah, the pacing is rough, that kind of stuff.
For reference, we are going to watch. I'm gonna split it up into two. We're gonna watch the first 53 episodes.
Ah, okay. And then
just
and
a
then
little
the
less
rest of
than
it.
what we did with Dressrosa.
Yeah.
But no, we'll watch the first 53, and then the rest of it will be going from there.
Gotcha. But yeah, it is interesting. But with Dressrosa itself, this second half has.
Also, Wano is Eni's lobby.
Yeah.
Forgot to mention that. Wano is 100% basically like combine Alabasta and Eni's lobby, and you get Wano.
Wano, yeah.
Of like, that's how it ends up feeling.
But yeah, let's get into the story. You want to get into the story, or
Non-spoiler thoughts. I'm gonna say like I wasn't able to mention mine. This is now my favorite arc.
this is your favorite?
Like, here's the thing. The funny thing is, my knowledge of One Piece. It was growing up. I had plenty of times where like I would have a friend that liked One Piece, so I would hear a bunch about it from them. Funny enough, the one that I actually heard the most from was Whole Cake.
Was Whole Cake.
Whole Cake was when one of my best friends, he came up to me and was like so hyped on it that he was nonstop talking about it. And so I just listened every time because I was like, oh shit, this sounds awesome. And so I was just hearing everything about Whole Cake.
You want to know when I started hearing about One Piece?
What?
You.
Yeah, good. Hey, he passed the torch to me. There you go.
And
When you started hearing about One Piece.
I never heard about One Piece until he told me about it.
You're kidding.
Never heard about One Piece. The most anime thing I've ever heard about was it was Pokemon, Dragon Ball, and then this thing Naruto that people were freaking out about every so often and running weird because of it.
Yeah.
And then that was it. There was
You
literally
were not an anime fan, yeah.
I literally did not hear anything about it. Nobody talked about it ever.
That's what
and
makes
here-
the channel so cool.
And here I am 700 episodes later.
Yeah, no, if I counted how many episodes of shows you've watched, I think I did it once. But that was back when we were, like, before Dressrosa, I think before even Time Skip, I counted it once.
Yeah.
And I think you had a total of 3 weeks. And that's, like, without sleep, without stopping, 3 weeks worth of watch time.
Yeah, that if I never slept and was watching One Piece, it would have been 3 weeks.
I mean, for every show.
And every show, yeah. Like all of the time and everything like that.
Every show you've watched, yeah.
When my sister was driving up and down California to like do stuff, she would watch One Piece like in traffic and stuff.
Oh, God.
She got through One Piece for a second time.
Well, I would say that this one, like Alabasta is, before I watched Dressrosa, Alabasta was my favorite. Still is. But Dressrosa, since it was
Very
my
tight second place.
Yeah, it's a very tight second place. It's a very modernized version of telling it. It's not. It doesn't pull any punches. It tells one of the best backstories ever, and Luffy comes out on top. He kind of does the same thing with Water Luffy. If you think about it,
Oh, 100%.
he gets inspired by Water
Monkey
Luffy.
D. Water Luffy.
Would you consider? Would you consider Water Luffy to be Gear 0.1?
No, Gear Point 1 would be all his weird transformations that he does throughout the show, because he does have a bunch.
Yes, yeah.
Before there were Gears, there were a shit ton of weird transformations he had. Even after Gears, there were. Of, like, you still have, what was it called? Monster Luffy?
Monster Luffy.
There's Monster Luffy,
Afro
there's
Luffy.
Golden Ball Luffy, there's Afro Luffy, there's
Luffy.
Water Luffy,
Airhead Luffy.
Airhead Luffy.
Ultra Instinct
Not
Luffy.
sponsored.
Afro Luffy is still one of my favorites, I will be honest. Of like, it is the highlight of that arc. Like, it is the only thing that is worth watching of that arc.
Yeah. The only thing.
Yeah, it is
What
the
a-
only thing.
What would
Well,
you
that as well as Zoro and Sanji's fight.
would you call Gear 2 Steamy Luffy?
At first, I think that's what people kind of thought it was.
Steam Luffy. And then what would you call Gear 3? As like one of the Luffy weird names.
Bounce Man!
No, that's Gear 4.
Oh, sorry.
I said Gear 3.
Punch Man!
It's Punching Man. One Punch Man.
No, it would be...
Disease man.
Disease Man.
Elephant disease.
Actually,
Oh.
the answer would be Giant Luffy.
Giant Luffy.
Like, that's what it's inspired by. Like, his entire thing is he mentions that he's got the strength of a giant.
Every time he hits, yeah.
And so, but no, then you get Gear 4, where that is Bounce Man!
Yeah, it's straight up just Bounce Man. Bounce
Yeah.
Man Luffy.
But yeah, so, to quickly run through some of the plot that I can, so, before we get the massive budget increase that we can see when Dragon Ball Super starts.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to say right now. You can tell that this happens around when Dragon Ball Super is like, okay, we don't need to throw much money at that Dragon Ball stuff, so here you go, One Piece.
We minimized the
Hey, One Piece, take
amount.
our Dragon Ball money.
Yeah, take the money that we get from Dragon Ball and put it into One Piece. That's literally what it seems like.
2017, 2015.
Yes.
Like, yeah, around that area. That's when this was coming out. And the fact that you look at literally Dragon Ball Super, exactly what's coming out at the same time as Dressrosa.
Remember
fact that-
Goku's fight with Beerus in Dragon Ball Super where it looked absolutely like shit?
The CG fight? Or
No,
the-
no.
Not the CG fight. No, in the show.
In the show version of it.
Show
Oh,
Dragon Ball
yeah,
Super. He had the fight where people had screenshots of like him looking all janky in the background and shit.
Yeah, and everybody looking stupid as fuck.
Yeah. Well, funny enough, at the same time was the budget increase, and you can tell from One Piece. Because basically, we get the whole thing of everybody's making their way to Doflamingo to try to handle his shit,
Everyone wants to
kick
punch
his
him in the
ass.
face.
Everybody wants to punch him in the face. Luffy has his army, and as they're making their way, you get all the setup of fights that are coming. You get Frankie going into the factory, getting ready to free all the dwarves, and
Tontadas.
they're dwarves.
Tontadas.
Yeah, they're also called dwarves. But well, it's part of Usopp's lie of he found an island of dwarves.
Ah.
Yeah, and he became their hero. Yeah,
Usalind.
yeah, Usoland, Frankoland. Yeah.
Franklin is the worst one, I think. No,
It sounds like Franklin.
Lufaland,
but the fact that it's Franklin but just said wrong.
Robiland,
Robalind is pretty bad. Luffyland.
Namaland,
Namalind. Sanjiland.
Sanjaland, yeah. And then you got Chopperland.
Brooklyn. Brooklyn.
Yeah, Brooklyn.
Good morning.
Shut the fuck up!
But yeah, so you get Frankie going in, and it's the setup of his fight with Senor Pink, which is one of my favorites.
It definitely
The
makes
setup.
it makes Frankie the MVP.
Yes, it really does. The setup of him going in and he sees this woman who's like trying to suck up all the dwarves of like, I'll throw you back, I'll throw all the slaves back. And as she's doing this, Frankie just runs up and just gives her a hug, holds on that for like several minutes, and
Oh
then
my God.
suplexes her.
Oh my God, he's showing her affection. Suplex!
Suplex! Yeah. And so he suplexes her, and she comes back and is like, oh, don't you look down on me. I'm the lead boss of this area. Keeps talking until he grabs her tie, pulls her in. It has a close-up of his lips as he goes in to kiss her.
It's exactly what you feared for the ending of Attack on Titan. It's the exact moment where you're just like, he's not gonna kiss her. He did!
He does not have hockey. He has Riz hockey.
Frankie, the one problem I have with the whole Frankie thing is that it's very obviously like drawn out, where they're just like, he has to be done by this certain time, that like this entire like section of Frankie could have been condensed into like one episode, I think.
I don't think so. I like the way
I do,
it builds
yeah,
up.
I do
That's
like
the thing.
it.
I
Yeah.
like the way because it builds on itself. Of like it cuts away and then you're like, oh man, I can't wait for the next time he shows up. And then he shows up and you get some of the best moments.
Yeah.
Because like the whole thing of he kisses her to get her out of the way so that he can finally fight Senor Pink,
Again.
which is my favorite moment early on of them looking at each other of when a man gets ready to battle, he puts his all into it. And as they're saying that, they're just all sitting there, and every last person in the room is just like, they're so manly. This is so fucking cool. I can't believe it. I want to learn everything from him. And then, as they get ready to fight, you watch as Senor Pink swerves his ass at Frankie and goes, diaper bombs! And Frankie rips his shirt open and goes, nipple lasers!
The most manliest
And
fight.
it cuts away.
The entire fight, like, we'll just like talk about this part, then move on to the next one.
Okay,
But,
so finish up this fight now?
yeah, we'll finish it up. Where basically, before we get Senor Pink's backstory, him and Frankie end up doing this sort of fisticuff sort of thing, where they do this one move over and over again to try and make it the finishing move, almost.
If I could take you down with this punch, then you lose.
Yeah, so
It is a man agreement.
so they full on agree that it's like, as long as you do just this move, I won't try and block it or dodge it or anything. You do this move, and if it knocks me down and I stay down, then you win. And Senor Pinks he dives into the ground, sneaks up behind Frankie, and like suplexes him into the ground.
This is his main move he does so many times. He swims suplexes you.
And then Frankie's is literally just decking him across the face with his giant fist.
Robo fist.
Yes, it's literally like fancy move, punch.
It leads to my favorite look of Frankie, honestly.
Yeah.
When he's been punched down, and as he's been punched down, you see that like his part of his eye is all broken off, and so it's just red underneath.
He gets the red eye.
Glowing red eye.
Yeah.
And
he
makes his way over. Of just, okay, it's time to finish this. You said that if I do it, I win, and Senor Pink accepts it.
He full on accepts it. Yeah.
He full on accepts it. Of just, it is a man's agreement, and as Frankie rains down the punches, he just says, "It's raining, just like that day," and it leads to his fucking backstory.
Senor Pink's backstory is
He did the Android 16 rocket punch. Really?
rocket punch.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I love that 17. Like the Team 4-Star abridged of Dragon Ball, they definitely carried on that joke that is done in One Piece, where Frankie is the coolest thing to every guy, but stupid to every woman. Big robot, fuck yeah! He's just punching.
I like how it's specifically robots, though. It is specifically robots. Like, if Frankie does something cool, there are plenty of people that will respect him. But if it's like robots, every woman, I don't get it. I don't get it.
Like he shows off his tank treads, and they're just like, you can just walk.
Yeah.
Fucking, I'll never forget the Thriller Bark scene where they're like, Robin, you have to assemble. No.
Because
Robin,
I'd rather
ducking!
die.
Why not? Because I still have my dignity. She just took the wind out of our sails.
I think
hate
even
when
worse
bitches
in
do that.
even worse in Japanese.
I'm just trying to have fun with you, bitch. Why you gotta ruin it? Why you gotta
Why you gotta make things complicated? Make me feel like I'm stupid.
why you gotta kick me in the mud like that?
My favorite part is in Japanese. I think they have the line where it's basically like, "I can't do it." Something about my respect as a human denies it.
my dignity as a human denies me.
Yeah, denies this moment, and it's just like, Jesus Christ.
But Chopper.
It's like, yes, he's my son. I'm not the other hand.
I'm not letting you hold me like that, Frankie. But that's why they got Brooke.
Yeah,
Because he would.
he would. Bone docking.
Ow.
That's what he called it. He called it docking.
I want to talk about Senor Pink's backstory real
Go ahead.
fast. So, there's a period of time that before the Doflamingo family that they get to Dressrosa and all that kind of stuff, they were in the North Blue?
I think so.
The North Blue. And they were just a notorious, like, pirate crew and all that kind of stuff. And on this one island that Senor Pink is more of just, like, trying to chill on, like, basically take a smoke break away from everybody, he meets this girl. And he's talking to her and all that kind of stuff. He looks a lot like Sanji, which is in the past, which is very frightening for Sanji if he gives up on his dream. But he might start wearing diapers. But he starts like
That's only if the rest of the backstory happens.
they start like going out and all that kind of stuff. He asks her what she likes, and she says, "There's only one thing that I hate. Pirates." And he's like, "It's a good thing I'm not a pirate." He brings in a bunch of money. They
He
get
lies
married.
and says he works at the bank.
Yeah, he works at the bank, and like that's how he excuses bringing in all this money and all that kind of stuff. And they end up having a kid together. And
Remember the woman's name?
I don't.
You bitch.
It's been too long.
Remember.
You bitch.
What is it?
My beautiful wife, Russian.
Russian?
Yes, Russian.
Just Russian?
Her
Roshan.
name was Russian.
Roshan? I'm gonna say Roshan.
It was Russian.
Russian. But so Senor Pink and Russian,
Like the country.
like
The people from the country.
and Russian have a kid together. They basically just start living like this amazing life, but then obviously you can't keep this lie up for too long.
I think his kid's name was Gimli.
Toss me.
But yeah, oh god, Oh yeah, no, I want to mention that part of when it comes to Gimli, of just her trying to call Senor Pink, of just like trying to figure out, because as he leaves for work, Gimli gets sick.
Yeah, the baby gets sick. She can't.
And he's crying nonstop.
Yeah.
And she's trying to figure it out until he finally comes back and he sees her as it's too late.
Yeah.
Gimli, his fucking kid, his baby, is gone.
Dead. Full on dead.
Dead from sickness.
And she's just like, I tried calling the bank, and they said that you never worked there.
You lied. I don't know why you lied, but I can't stay with a man who lied to me.
Yeah.
So she runs off into the rain, and he gets to find out the next morning that she's in the hospital because when she was out in the rain, a landslide happened and she was underneath it.
In the rain.
Yeah. So he visits every day to try to hopefully like keep the hope up that one day she'll make it out.
And she's like full on like comatose, like non-responsive vegetable sort of state.
She's in a vegetative state of just sitting there and staring. And
every time he comes in, he tries bringing her flowers and all that kind of stuff, and it's just nothing's working. And then one day, he comes in wearing
Gimli's bonnet.
Gimli's bonnet.
He had the box, and he's like, "Oh look, I look like Gimli."
And she smiles. In a vegetative state, she was able to smile seeing him wearing the bonnet. And then eventually he gets to the point where he's wearing the Senor Pink outfit.
Yeah.
And that's what's keeping her smiling and all that kind of stuff every single day. He
gets
wears
made
that
fun
stupid outfit. He wears the stupidest outfit ever because his wife because his wife is in a vegetative state and she smiles when she sees him wearing it. What?
You know the best part is when I remember you freaked out at me at one point as like you were heading off to your room, and you said, "If it turns out that it's because of a dead baby, I'm killing you." Is what you specifically said, and it's like, well, no, it's not technically because of a dead baby. It's because of the fact that he's wearing the outfit of a dead baby that just so happens to make him look like the dead baby, so therefore it makes his wife smile.
So is that better, Jinsu, or worse? Do I kill him now, or...
Maybe now, because you're 700 episodes deep. So yeah, we get that, and it is genuinely the most disturbing backstory I've seen that made me cry. And
it's one of the most emotional.
It's one of the most emotional, and it's another one of those moments where it's this and Kiros's backstory that made me laugh when I heard Oda say, "I don't know how to write romance."
So I'm gonna make this story that is about this man losing his wife that he met and had a great relationship with and all that kind of stuff, but she found out that he was lying, and it's just like, Oda shut up.
Oda is my favorite writer for the fact that he's one of those guys that when he does something and he finds out that he's not good at something, he works to make it so he's good at it.
He improves himself.
Didn't he start with romance?
Romance
no,
Dawn?
it was called Romance Dawn.
Yeah, and wasn't it a fucking romance story?
No, that was the name of the place.
No, he's talking about like before Romance Dawn. Like, did he write? He did.
No, he didn't start with romance.
Really?
No, it was all pirates. Since he was 17, he's written about pirates.
Always pirates. What
But
about
no,
Pirates in Love?
When it came to romance, he mentioned early on that he wasn't good at romance, and then Dressrosa happened.
Yeah.
But like another example that is hilarious is he once got a letter from somebody that was saying, "You only draw boobs because you're not good at drawing butts."
And he's just like,
And he said,
How do
"Oh, you wait. Oh, you wait. Have you seen Nami and Robin's outfit in Egghead?
What?
The one of the future arcs that happens.
I've
called
never
Egghead.
heard this phrase of an arc name, Egghead.
Yeah, let me get Egghead Nami.
I just like the idea. It could be about a story about pirates in love.
Yeah, here it is. Yeah.
You found it?
Yes, I found. They specifically put Robin in this outfit so that he has a chance to draw the ass more.
Yes.
Yes, and any woman that shows up in that arc is just dressed like that.
Where's Nami?
Look
You
at
showed
Nami.
me Robin, now show me Nami.
No, not the redesign. The redesign is stupid.
Ever since they gave Nami long hair, it's just, hey, it's a little far away, but it's closer now.
It's basically the same outfit, but for her, they just gave her straight up underwear. They gave her panties. Brooke is very happy.
Brooke can see without having to ask. Oh, Grandpa.
Gave plenty of great artwork. Yeah.
So what do you think, Jinzu, of hearing about Senor Pink's backstory?
Sad.
He's another one of those characters. It's just like One Piece fans will tell you that this character, Glump Shimpo, looking like this, has the saddest
Glump Shimpo.
Has the saddest backstory you will ever hear.
This is a show that will make you cry in an instant. It's just the way the show is.
Nothing will be sadder to me than Chopper's backstory.
Chopper's backstory.
Like Robin's backstory is sad. Sanji's backstory is really fucking sad. But Chopper's backstory, that
broke me.
That shit broke me.
Finale of the Senor Pink fight. We get as he fades back. He is getting punched by Frankie, and then one last right hook into his face. He goes flying, shattering his glasses, and he just takes it on the ground. He's just done. And
I'm fucking dead.
it was earlier when he was when Frankie was about to be suplexed that he mentioned the name Gimli and Russian. So Frankie walks over, sees the tears in his eyes, wipes them away on Senor Pink, and then stands and says, "Maybe later on we can have some drinks and you can tell me about the girl named Russian." End of fight.
And Frankie...
This is the manliest fight I've ever seen.
And the manliest fight that you think about later. Because while you're watching it, you're like, oh god, this is so dumb.
No, it got manly, like, I'd say mid-fight.
I would say the last third.
No, mid-fight. Like, it was the number of fucking suplexes where I was like, yes, the manliest fucking move, a suplex. If you can grab a motherfucker, swing them back, just break their fucking spine, I'm all in.
Little do we know that Duke likes swinging back on men.
Yes. I don't deny it.
I don't deny it. But yeah, this entire like little section just makes Frankie the absolute MVP of the entirety of Dressrosa.
Yeah. Going on to the rest of the arc, we get, once again, everybody's making their way to the castle to deal with Doflamingo. One of the first people to end up near the castle ends up being Rebecca. Who she ends up... It's weird because this episode was the one with the best animation. Like, right off the bat, it's wild.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was 6:39, something like that.
Yeah, 6:38 or 6:39.
And it was something like that where, holy shit, this episode was wild with the animation. There was only one problem with it when it came to Rebecca with the camera going up on her.
Why did Oda make her 16 and dress her like that? You can't have your cake and eat it too. It was probably... That is probably my biggest issue with Dressrosa, is just Rebecca's design. Her outfit.
I'll say, luckily, we don't get the outfit stuff anymore of, like, you're not going to see another 16-year-old dressed like that. Yeah. You will see other 16-year-olds in the future. I think 2 specifically. You'll see 2 other 16-year-olds that are have a fine figure, but it's not going to be where you look at them and every time they're just like Rebecca.
That's good.
And from now on, Rebecca is wearing a dress.
Yeah. After the main climax of Dressrosa, she finally just wears normal clothing. She's not in the gladiator outfit.
It is definitely egregious, the size of the chest, but we move on because it's Oda.
Because Oda's gonna do what Oda likes.
Oda be Odin.
Odin. But the animation for everything else, the fact that the guy that they were fighting, he had was it the fold fruit?
Diamante, who had the flutter fruit.
The flutter.
Fluttering like a flag.
Yeah. And his, like, sword and the sweeping shots at the field and all that kind of stuff.
Most interesting fruit.
His fight with Kyros, everything like that. It was just, the animation is so good. And the fact that it's just episode 639. Let's look at the best episode of Dragon Ball Super. Not that. This is not even close. A random episode of One Piece just beats out.
I think best episode of Dragon Ball Super was like towards the end, like one of the last episodes.
Yeah.
And it was because it was like the final bout between Jiren and Goku.
This is the fight where Diamante gets like done, right?
Yeah, this is basically the fight of, like, it's stretched out, but it's basically he gets to fight Kiros, and Kiros finally gets his revenge of nothing more to really explain there. Of it's just Kiros getting his revenge on Diamante,
Avenging his
as
wife.
the man who had killed his wife. Yeah.
It's
So
crazy.
very cool. And leading up to this, we got some other stuff of. Let me pop it up. I'll just basically mention all the fights that are getting set up of Fujitora Sabo. Fantastic fight of it looks fantastic.
I want to talk about Fujitoro at length a little bit, where he is probably one of my favorite. Like
Marines?
I think he's beating out Garp.
Really?
Like he's starting to get that good for me, because he's it's a character that actually has morals in this world of incredibly strong people, and the horrors that he saw, he blinded himself because he didn't want to see anything else after that, and he sees the wrongdoings of a warlord and didn't care if he denounced like made the world government look weak or anything like that. He didn't care.
He's so against them that there are theories that he may be working with the revolutionaries.
Yeah, but in the meantime, he still has to kind of uphold a certain sense of duty and all that kind of stuff. And fighting Sabo was in that vein. But the thing is that isn't at the end of the fight, don't they just kind of just walk away?
Kind of, sort of.
They're just like,
It's like, okay, we're going to continue helping out other people now.
I always like it when fights are more than just the punching, when fights are the conflicts within the characters themselves and actually matter, and the resolution of the fight is not necessarily the other one beaten into the ground.
Yeah.
And Sabo being basically untouchable because he's made of fire now, and Fujitoro just being absolutely awesome in his strength.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And once again, Sabo being voiced by Ichigo works pretty damn well. With the
It's so funny.
it's funny how it's just the metal pipe that he uses. There are some shots where it's just like I feel like they could have match cutted it with Ichigo.
I'm just gonna hear the large metal pipe. dropping.
Yeah. Ding! Oh no! I dropped my metal pipe I was holding.
Every time he raises it up, I'm just like, Getsuga.
But yeah, so literally at the end of the fight, they're just kind of just like, all right, you're fine. You're chill. You are too. Bye.
Yeah. So they split off, but other fights we get, I'll go ahead and mention one that I'm really happy about is basically as everybody's trying to make it to the castle, the person that tries to help out to make sure that they can make it out, of all people, is Bart. Bartolomeo.
Bart Simpson.
Yeah, Bartolomeo Simpsonia. But we get Bartolomeo as he gets to fight the man who is basically just the same bomb guy we saw in Alabasta, Gladius. And they have a really interesting fight of, like, it's here and there of, like, there's the whole thing of him, like, he puts a bubble over himself so that when Gladius explodes, it'll be Bart who takes the most damage.
Yeah.
And after all that, of like Gladius is almost down, he's like, I'm not out yet. And so Bart is basically like, you want? Fuck it. God homage fist!
Yeah, a lot of his attacks, Jinsu, is Bart's attacks are like God homage, where it's just like he does like the same pose that Luffy does for Gum Gum Pistol, but it's like he coated his arm with his barrier stuff, so it's extra powerful. And it's just funny how it's just he's the ultimate fanboy character. He is the epitome of fan character.
I'm trying to remember what fight it was that Luffy made that specific pose, because it was a specific fight.
It was probably, I would say, pre-time skip.
You think it was maybe Alabasta?
Maybe that
Oh,
would
it
be,
was definitely pre, but still, I'm wondering like what era of pre.
It would be interesting if it was Alabasta.
I think that was the point. Of it.
Another parallel between them. A thing too with that fight. It was mainly resolved by not Bart.
Oh, that fight? No, it wasn't resolved by him.
Oh wait, he did beat him. Wait, what
Yeah, he did beat him.
There's a lot of
You're
fights.
talking about the fact that Cavendish did have a moment where he interrupted.
Where he interrupted.
He interrupted, but that was we got to find out about his other personality. I think its name is Hillinger or something like that.
Dillinger or
No,
Hillinger?
Dillinger is the pretty boy voiced by Geen from Dr. Stone.
Oh yeah.
No, it was. Oh, God, I gotta find it.
But it's just now we found out that Cavendish actually has like it's a whole thing that his other personality is absolutely violent, wants to kill everybody, and the fact that over the course of the arc, Bart slowly figures out how to deal with it, and like there's a scene where everybody's sleeping and Bart's just while he's sleeping he's holding on to the chain that is holding Cavendish as he's trying to like break out. It's so funny.
The best part is they don't show who tied him up, but we all know
It's Bart.
It was Bart.
It's Bart.
And so you just see Cavendish
kill
trying
you.
to break out to kill everybody.
How about I kill you? Huh?
I don't remember what Cavendish's other personality was. It was something with an H, I think. But either way, get the whole thing with him. For Cavendish, his main fight, he ends up getting to fuck up Dillinger. Because we get to see how much of a bitch Dillinger is. He has an interesting fight with the long legs guy. I think his name was
Blue hair, long legs has the
Blue hair, long legs was the first guy he fought. He took him out easy. But the other guy was the guy from the long arm
where he's the boxer guy.
Yeah, the boxer guy with the long arm tribe.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing about those like extra pauldrons basically is those are his bones.
Yeah. Like there's elbows.
Yeah,
like
Jinzu.
that high up.
There you go. A guy from the long arm tribe of One Piece, where basically his entire thing is the fact that his outfit is like it goes up to here, his shoulders. And the reason why is because that's where his arms are. So that he can look normal.
Motherfucker built like a TIE fighter.
But yeah, so it's basically like if he really wants to extend it, you just watch as his shoulder just goes down and just stretches out.
Yeah. Another interesting thing too with Dillinger, when he was in his fight and like towards the end of when he got defeated, is that turns out he's actually a fishman, but not any fishman, a fighting fishman. Those terrifying fish that are on Dressrosa and all that kind of stuff that were like in the Coliseum.
He's a beta fish?
He's
No, that's the cool thing. Actually, it's a specific fish that Oda made where basically they've got these like bull horns and everything. That for the first time we get to see a fishman who's inspired by a fish made by Oda.
Instead of being like the octopus fishman or the tiger shark fishman.
Not even a beta fish. Yeah, no, it's just straight up the fighting fish that Oda made.
Yeah. Honestly, one of the most terrifying things. It's just seeing someone like basically turn into a skinwalker. Basically, that's what it looked like.
Yeah. Another fight that I get to mention is Hajruden. Voiced by the giant dude. What is his?
Oh, he's Harudagon. Yeah, it's Chris Guerrero.
Chris Guerrero. It's Hajruden, not Harudagon. That fucked me up.
It's how I remember him.
Well, Hajruden and his fight against. Who was he fighting?
Tun Tun.
Name.
Tun
Yeah,
Tun.
the owner of the Tun Tun fruit, where his name was Machweiss.
Machweiss.
And
The fact that it's literally just Mudfuck. The fact that it's literally just that woman from Baroque Works with the weight fruit or whatever, where she just jumps up into the air and then crashes down weighing 10,000 tons. The fact that it's literally just that power.
He's just a better version of her, in all fairness.
Yeah, it's just a big, jolly, fat man. Dun dun!
Because he's just such an entertaining character. That was the cool thing of, I'll mention this little aspect of Law's backstory we get to see later on. Of, when it comes to Law's backstory, we get to see a lot of the people from Doflamingo's family, but when they were younger. They look epic. They
in their
look
prime.
The funny thing, they look like Baroque Works.
Yeah.
A lot more slim builds, all around the same kind of look, and they look bitchin'. But meanwhile, we've seen them in the present when they've we're strong, we're still strong, but we don't need to worry as much because we know how strong we are.
They definitely passed their prime, like the absolute peak of what they were, because like when they were younger, they had the ambition and all that kind of stuff, and then here on Dressrosa, they have everything that they want basically, so they allowed themselves to kind of chill out and just rule.
So Mach Weiss and Hajrudin had a really interesting fight where basically it was he just kept dropping a massive coin on him.
It was very
ton fruit.
It was very frustrating. I will say that every time Hajrudin, where did he go?
I'll stand up. Break your fucking leg. Breaking your leg.
Taking your ankles.
And he just kept going.
It was just over and over again.
Hajrudin just going, I will be the captain of the new Elbaf pirates. Just grabs, basically gets ready and punches up, hits the coin, and he's like, you know that it is not working. And so he's just like, this will not be working. And so
you are failing.
He just keeps going until eventually he punches him so hard that he sends him flying into the birdcage and eviscerates the motherfucker.
Does he actually die?
No.
So in proper One Piece fashion, he should be dead.
It's One Piece. The entire point is he doesn't like... Oda doesn't like when people die. Like, he doesn't like when a character dies in a story. Well, no.
Unless it's a backstory.
Unless it's a backstory. But
he must love Dragon Ball.
Well, here's the thing. He said it before. When it comes down to it, every time he ends an arc, he doesn't want, like, a bloodbath of deaths everywhere.
Why not?
And the reason why is because he wants a party at the end. Who's gonna party at a funeral? Shut up. But yeah, Jinzu, how do you feel about that? Of the idea of, like, I don't want too many deaths because I just want a party at the end.
I want to have fun.
Well, if that's what he wants, then he can't have anyone die.
Yeah.
If that's what you want to do, you can't have anyone. Because if you want like your story to end with like everybody's in a big party together and like, oh, everybody's here, da 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 da, and like it's like this whole big celebration, then you can't have anyone die.
Yeah.
I think he handles it well. Of there are deaths throughout the show, but not so many that everybody by the end is like Attack on Titan levels of we can't do anything.
How the fuck are we gonna rebuild from this?
Attack on Titan levels of, well, we're all that's left.
Yeah.
I guess we're equal now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Meanwhile,
guess
when
I'm not racist anymore.
like when it comes to One Piece, you have moments where it's like if a character dies, the reason why is two things. One, it's very important to their story of like say a backstory. That's when you get a death. Or two, it advances other characters.
Yeah.
Like, if this death will help to advance the story in some way...
It has to be necessary for it.
It has to have meaning.
It has to be
Death
necessary.
has to have meaning. Death has to have meaning.
Who are you talking to?
Every writer!
What's the next fight?
Next fight,
Zoro versus Peak.
Oh, we'll mention that after.
Oh,
This will be the last of the big fights we'll mention.
Motherfucker.
But real quick, I got to see... There's like 2 fights, including Zoro, and then finally Luffy finale kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, the last major fight is with Lao G.
Yeah. I was wondering if you were going to talk about this one because it's a weird fight because it doesn't really feature any of the main cast, but everybody there has emotional weight in the story. And then Baby 5 switches sides.
That's the best part. It was there's Don Chinzhou, who's the boss. Then there's Sai, who's his grandson. Sai was the one who had a fight with Baby 5. Jinzu, listen to this shit. It's fucking hilarious. Of Sai going in for a fight with Baby 5, whose entire personality is, if it'll help you, then I'm gonna fall in love with you.
Meanwhile, Sai, we're in this till the end! And he's saying literally all of the wrong things to get Baby 5 to get that eventually she just falls in love with him.
I'll follow you into hell. You'll follow me?
You follow?
Yeah, that kind of shit. And it just keeps going of, it's essentially like, it's almost like the joke of like, when you've seen like women say like, if you flirted with women like you flirt with your guy friends, then you would 100% land a girl. This is him doing that, except the opposite of how he would treat a guy. I'm going to fucking kill you.
You're going to fuck me?
Basically, for Baby 5, yeah. And it leads to, I'll follow you till the end, to my dying breath, kind of line. And she's just like, you want to marry me?
Marriage?
And so, no joke, it's basically the kind of thing where it's essentially a proposal from Baby 5. And Don Chinjiao is having a fight with Lao Ji. Like, the two old fucks are fighting.
The two old men are fighting, and it is G for great!
Yeah, it's fantastic. Lao Ji's having his whole fight. You have Don Chinjiao stops mid-fight and goes, "I'll never accept this." Oh man, Lao Ji must have really pissed him off. Sigh, you're already married.
You already
have a fiance in the kingdom.
your arranged marriage, and then they father and grandfather and grandson end up fighting, and
He literally says, because of the fact that Baby 5 is just like, "Oh, what way can I make myself useful?" Pff, kill yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. She grabs a gun and is ready to shoot herself in the brain. She's ready to Kurt Cobain. And as she's getting ready, she gets her flashback, which is basically she was abandoned as a kid because her village found her useless because she was 5.
Yep.
That's her backstory. Of, like, the reason why she always makes herself useful to people is because when she was useless, they threw her away.
They literally threw away a 5-year-old child.
What?
Baby 5,
her
the chick
backstory.
that could turn into a gun, her entire backstory is the fact that she was abandoned as a 5-year-old because of not being useful.
Ain't that quacking crazy?
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah. Well, she's about to off herself, and as she does, Sai stops her of just like, Jesus Christ, no!
Don't do that!
Find
Sai?
meaning in life!
Psy, the guy who wrote Gangnam Style?
Yeah, exactly.
Open gun.
Yeah, he just he just starts fucking dancing, and she's like, "You know what?
I want to live!
Hey, Peter, remember that time that you were in that one anime about a Gundam?
Open gun.
Her brain's
Peter,
just
open Gundam. But it's shit like that. And so you get Sai of, he stops her from doing that. And Don Chijiao, you should have let her know it so that she'd be fucking dead.
Because then we don't have to fight her.
We get one less enemy. And so he flies at Baby 5 to try to kill her. And Sai goes ahead and does it as well, using his foot instead.
Intercepts. Yeah.
Basically, he uses his leg. Don Chijiao uses his head.
Horn.
His horn, yeah. And they collide, and it what was it? It bent it.
It bent the head horn
He
that
bent
he had,
my beam.
and now he's all right. Because now it just.
You ever get hit in the head so hard that your thing gets bent?
Your head horn turns 90 degrees.
You can interpret whatever head you want.
die."
Back on re-entry.
And so the moment he does it, and he actually breaks some of the ground, Don Chijiao's just like, "Okay, fine. You don't have to marry the other woman."
You finally have your move that can finally counter and is stronger than my horn.
Also,
you are my successor!
Yeah, you're my new successor. I'm so happy. And then Don Chijiao gets fucked by Lao Ji.
As he full-on Roshi powers up.
Yeah. Apparently, the point of Lao Ji's technique is that he's able to power himself up with the power of youth.
And like he stored his past strength into himself, and basically when he unleashed it, he became as powerful as he was when he was younger.
He's Roshi built, yeah.
And holy shit,
The same animator that did Luffy standing up to the admirals, that fucking sweeping water over until he crashes down with the massive mast, and then chucks it at the admirals, that shot that everyone shares from Marineford, the guy that animated that did the Lao Ji versus Sai finale fight.
just out of nowhere.
You see just like the fluid movement of him throwing back his arm, getting ready to fight, and then Sai charges at him as Lao Ji is charging up a G blast. And he runs up and just crashes his leg into Lao Ji's head and shatters the ground beneath him, throwing him into a pit.
And he falls in, yeah. And that's the end of Lao Ji!
Yeah, he's technically still alive.
G! Into the ground!
Into the grave!
Fuck!
I will say the one part that we skipped that I'm sad we skipped is Lao Ji sitting there just unmoving, and then it's like, man, he must really be focused. And then you watch as his spirit begins to leave his body.
Oh yeah, he dies.
Lao Ji dies mid-fight.
And then he comes back to life.
You watch his spirit just, oh, I guess I'm going now.
I'm G for ghost!
And then it's just like, oh, I gotta finish the fight, and he just goes back down.
I'm G for dead.
Good day. For going to heaven. No, you going to hell!
I'm G for going to heaven. Wait, what?
Ah. G for gravity!
G for Gehenna.
See, that's why I love Lao G, because there's so many jokes you could do with just the letter G.
I can't wait to set up basically D&D with One Piece, and you just play essentially Lao G, but with a different letter.
D!
We need to do like a whole Pokemon, like make our own Pokemon campaign.
Yes.
And it's like it's this whole ass region.
So that's basically every fight at that point when it comes to all the like minor fights.
Yeah.
And I'll mention last two fights are with Pika and Zoro, where basically it's Pika just like, I can't do the voice. I can't.
If you do it once and you never do it again.
Okay.
Just save your voice if you're not gonna do it. Just save your voice.
I'll try it once, essentially, of just, like, it's the whole thing where he's just looking at everybody, just, why is it that you don't listen to Doflamingo?
He's fucking cool!
Vote Doflamingo 2024!
Yeah, it's
But
literally...
he does that, and it's just like, cause he sucks. Also, we got the king over there.
Over there, you see?
So he starts making his way over with the repeating stomp on the entire town.
He has the stone fruit and gets a bunch of mass and becomes this giant, like, version of himself that people have calculated and found out that it's the same size as a Star Destroyer from Star Wars. It's the same fucking size,
You know
and
the
he's
crazy
stomping
thing?
over.
You know the crazy thing?
Huh.
There's actually something way bigger than that that's actually coming up fairly soon.
Fuck you. Size in One Piece. What the fuck?
Size in One Piece is crazy because then you get to realize that the planet is like, I think like several times bigger than ours.
Yeah.
Like that's the entire thing about One Piece. The reason why like size is so weird, the planet is huge.
Or maybe Luffy is just small. But yeah, he's literally like stomping over, and Zoro's just like, I know what to do. I'm gonna kill that guy. And he goes up and like he full on slices it in half. But Pika obviously has like the stone fruit, and just slicing the stone doesn't do anything.
Right.
But yeah, so Zoro full on like you literally see throughout this entire fight with Zoro that he's problem solving, figuring out exactly how Pika's fruit works. And it's so funny that every time Pika's just like, I will challenge and defeat you, and okay, and then Pika's just like, fuck, and runs away. So Zoro has to kind of trap him, and in a moment in midair slices.
You remember who threw him?
Oh, who was it again?
The king. What was his name?
Oh, it starts with an R, right?
No. It starts with an
E.
Ennard.
Elisabello.
Elisabella.
What?
Oh no, that's the wrong king that I was thinking about.
Yeah. By the way, for the other one, that was his name was King Riku.
Riku. Yeah, that's who I was thinking. That's who I thought you were asking.
That's who they're
about.
going after.
But no,
What?
but Elisabello.
King of the Kingdom.
I hate Kingdom Hearts.
But
Riku. When it comes to King Elisabello.
Elisabello,
coolest
yes.
character.
One of those like background characters you don't expect to do much, but then just comes in and absolutely steals the scene. Where
Elisabello was background MVP.
What he is as a character, Elisabello, he has this thing called the King Punch, and everybody that serves under him does everything possible to make sure that he sets it up and all that kind of stuff. It's like, oh man, this is probably...
he's pathetic because he's got all these people protecting him.
Meanwhile...
I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me.
With me!
I'm not trapped in the birdcage with you. You're trapped in the birdcage with me.
And so he charges up the punch, and Zoro's just on his arm, and he launches Zoro with the power of the King Punch. And
no, that was his normal strength.
Oh, there was it wasn't.
That was his normal strength, him throwing Zoro in order to slash Pika in half.
Yeah.
And then slash Pika in half again.
Again.
And then slash him in half again.
Because
following with Pika going, ah! I love Pika's voice. I'm not gonna lie. Jinzu, Pika's voice is so ridiculous. I love it.
Yeah, that's why you get killed for laughing at it.
Yeah.
That's why he kills you when you laugh. And then meanwhile, Zoro, the one who is actively kicking his ass, is also laughing at him.
I would be so tempted if I had like one of those inflatable suits to just have a cosplay of Pika.
Oh, the muscle suit.
I would love to get a muscle suit for Pika, like have the fucking extreme proportions of like I would honestly be able to do like normal legs, honestly.
Yeah, just your legs, and then just have the thing be hyper puffed up.
Which would be perfect for me in particular. Of just imagine just like somebody walking up and just like, hey, can you do the voice? No, fuck you. Listen, I must find Dofi.
Yeah, Zoro. Yeah, like I was saying, like in this fight, Zoro absolutely
there.
Zoro has some amazing just problem solving.
What does he get to show off?
The fact that he finally understands the Black Blade is not what he originally thought, that it was just like a black metal or something like that. No. Literally it's hockey.
People have made so many jokes that when it comes to Mihawk's blade, because he hasn't been in any fights, people are joking about it, making it like saying that he must have painted it.
He painted it black. I see a red sword and I want to paint it black. Zoro wins,
and you watch as everything's about to crumble to the ground and kill everybody. And that's when Elizabello gets to show off the King Punch in full.
Actually shows off the
as
King
he
Punch, yeah.
rears up, punches, and wipes away the equivalent of a Star Destroyer.
And it's gone. It's literally just gone. Which means that if literally that was put in front of him and he did the King Punch, it's not hockey. It's not a devil fruit. It's just his strength. He's just this strong, this random.
What do you think of a king who has no magic? He's just built different.
Who?
King Elizabello, his punch is so strong that he was able to wipe away Pika.
What?
He charged up his punch, and then when he punched, it sent a shockwave that erased the mountain that was Pika.
So the character that when he was up in that size was the equivalent size of a Star Destroyer, and his full-powered King Punch completely erased all of the debris. And it's not hockey, it's not a devil fruit, it's just his strength.
There has to be some repercussions to that, like the recoil.
He has to charge it up for an hour.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But the recoil, like him erasing the Star Destroyer punch, and then like whatever behind him should also be fucked.
Probably,
that's the thing. It's everything in front of him is just gone.
He's just built different. But yeah, it's one of those things where you're just like
king ever.
What? And turns out that like he's in charge, like he's King Elizabello, and he's in charge of the actual Spain kingdom or whatever that's somewhere else.
Oh no, he's in charge of just another nation that's just friends with Spain.
With Dressrosa, yeah.
Yeah. He was just friends with Riku for the longest time. So it was just like, I came here to help out my friend.
I'm gonna put him back on the throne because he looks good on it.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have that.
I love dub voices. I gotta say that right now. I've been copying a lot of them. I love these dub voices. They're so ridiculous. I know a lot of people don't like it, but it's so fucking ridiculous. I love it.
That is the thing that I will say now. Now that I've gotten to... that I'm almost caught up with One Piece on when it came out, and the dub voices have been growing and getting better, improving. I understand people's like beginning problems that they had with the dub voices in the beginning, where like they were learning and all that kind of stuff.
Y'all are just bitches.
And I understand, but it's like over time they definitely are able to show that they have evolved as voice actors. Especially, I will say, Luffy.
Luffy's improved a lot.
Luffy has improved a ton.
Now, I disagree with the statement that we're getting to it. Gear 4 is a bad voice. I disagree with that statement.
Gear 4 is a funny voice, especially that like tick that he has, where it's like, where he's got, where I'm pulling down on my lip right now, but yeah, he's got like a huge like where his lip is like dropped down or
I
something
can
for some
imagine
reason.
that the voice actress actually did do that of like recording lines. Bounce, man.
Yeah. And it's honestly like they were able to emulate as much as possible. That I feel like the dub voices have finally like they were good before, now they're really good.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, Jinsu.
Unforgivable.
I will not be watching
Saganai.
I will not be watching sub One Piece.
That's your loss. White boy.
I'm just waiting for you to send me another.
There's only one voice that I feel mixed on of like it is great in sub, but at the same time I still fucking love the dub voice. It's Zoro.
Zoro.
I'll be honest, my main reason for loving Zoro's dub voice, he's just a bro. Like Christopher Sabat playing Zoro he's such a bro.
Should we talk about the whole thing with Usopp before we finish with
Oh,
Luffy
that's
and everything?
right. Yeah. So as Law and Luffy were making their way up, they got to realize that Sugar woke up, the girl that's able to turn you into a toy, and she was about to touch Luffy and Law, thereby destroying the entire revolution.
Yep.
And
Everybody
as it
would have
goes-
forgotten about Luffy and Law.
There's one person who ends up standing up and basically helping out. I realize now, did I ever mention Kanjuro in the previous one?
Probably. I think we did.
Maybe. Kanjuro, who is the friend of Kanaimon.
The one that they've been trying to find.
They've been trying to find for the longest time, ends up being one of those people with the white painted face and like the clown makeup essentially in Japanese kabuki. And as he shows up, his power is that he can make any painting come to life.
Yeah, he draws like a giant bird, and now they can ride on a giant bird, that kind of stuff.
The only problem is that he's a shitty artist. Jinzu, the funniest power I've ever seen, honestly. The
A
power
shitty
of
artist.
my art is so shitty, but it comes to life.
So respect me.
I'm coming, Kinaimon!
Kanjuro.
I love this guy. He's just he plays up like the actor role is what it seems like.
That seems to be my favorite aspects that I've been seeing from Wano. People from Wano.
Wano
It's
is treated as a play, dude.
Yeah. Kanjuro, we must go and defeat them all. Kill them.
I like how it's cohesive of it's not shit.
Yeah.
Like, it could be worse. Of like, they could play it up to the point that it would be shit.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, the way that One Piece does it, especially the dub, is they play it up. They play up the role of like, they really are being like classic, like, imagining like if a Japanese actor was doing like the kabuki stuff.
Yeah.
But doing it for an English audience. We must go and find Kanjuro! We must go and find my son! Kind of shit.
We must avenge the people who have fucking died.
Yes.
But
It's just so fun. But so
Sugar's awake!
Usopp ends up going to Kanjuro and is like, I've got an idea. I need you to paint something. And he shows him, are you sure you want this? Yes. Okay. And so he hands it to him. He charges up, getting ready to go. And he's going back and forth, trying to make sure everything's perfect. As people are beating the shit out of him. Like, people are coming in, trying to arrest, like, take him in for Doflamingo. And he charges up, and he fires it, and it goes off. Boom. First launch off.
it has
Boom,
like a rocket
second
stage.
launch off. And then boom, third one. Going directly through the window as he used... What was it?
Observation hockey.
He used observation hockey to perfectly find where Luffy and Law were. He launches the thing in, and as it goes in, it gets right in front of Sugar, and it's the same fucking face he made earlier that made her go unconscious, which causes her to freak out and go back into a coma.
And it, like, passes back out. She is traumatized by Usopp's dumb face. That is one of the greatest things to ever find out, especially for a character you hate.
I love Luffy and Law not even thinking about it, just going, well, that was weird, and moving on.
And they're just like, why is Usopp on the wall?
Leads to the final fight, which is Law, Luffy, and Doflamingo, as Luffy gets ready to fight, but it gets interrupted because Puppet Fruit, go figure, so he has to
Uses-
fight Bellamy.
Bellamy as like a trying to be useful sort of thing to Doflamingo. And in the meantime, while they're fighting and everything like that, Law and Doflamingo are fighting, and Law's actually doing pretty good on his own. Until he isn't. And then, in a quick moment, we get Law's backstory. Law's backstory is that
Fucked up.
he grew up on an island that had a very unique stone on it that everybody really liked and all that kind of
What
stuff.
was it called?
It was like white stone or something like that.
You got the white right.
White rock.
No.
White
It's
ma-
a commonly known poison.
What?
Something that will fucking kill you because it's in your paint.
white lead. White lead disease.
I like how they didn't even really try to make it too complicated of
It's
like
lead.
white topaz or something like that. Yeah, Jinsu, genuinely one of my favorite bits of Law's backstory is where they don't try to make it complicated of like, oh, it's white topaz or it's like some googly flop stone. No, it is literally just the thing that is poisonous to everybody is white lead.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, exactly.
What about this radioactive material?
What?
Yeah, so it's
What about? What about 10 million Rowan tungents of
Uranium.
spiked uranium?
And so, yeah, no, it is interesting that they literally are just like, oh yeah, no, we got this thing called white lead where it is so common on our island that we fuck with it and we can just turn it into all our buildings, all our plates, all our everything.
That we eat with it and all that kind of
all our
stuff.
water flows through the pipes made of white lead.
So everybody starts getting poisoned by this white lead stuff, and
It's the worst disease I've ever seen.
So
Like,
the boomers of America.
lead disease,
Here's
lead
the thing.
poisoning.
the way it works is that it's basically the older generations. It takes a while for them to get hit by it.
Yeah, but the
The
younger you
younger
are,
the generation, the sooner it hits. So yeah, we get Law's sister is the first to get sick.
and
Law's
dies.
little sister is the first to get sick, and no, she doesn't die.
Oh wait, yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Where
Wait.
everybody's getting sick, everybody's getting all fucked up. Law's dad is a doctor, so he goes in and he tries to help out as many people as possible. As the news breaks out that the entire country is getting all messed up by white lead disease.
And so, you know what the government does in response? Orders every soldiers to go in and kill everyone to make sure that the disease doesn't get spread. When
It's not contagious,
it's
by the way.
not contagious, but they don't care. They're still gonna kill everybody. And as they go in, it turns the island to full on anarchy.
They go in and kill Law's dad. They go in and kill Law's mom. They're both killed in the same room. And then as Law manages to escape the house, his sister is the only one left alive until they burn the building.
And the entire thing goes up in ash. And
They just show one of her toys being burnt.
Yep.
It is the most disturbing thing as, like, there was even this one nun who ran a school. And
Law school.
Yeah, law school. And it's just like, Law, come with us so you can be safe. And it's like, no, I have to check on my family. Okay, don't worry, we'll make it out of here.
They said
And
that they're gonna
runs
save-
up and sees the bodies of kids surrounding him as the nun is laying there holding one of the children.
Because the soldiers are going to have mercy on us, and they said that we're all
children.
going to meet in the field alone. Just us and the children. Ow!
So many bodies.
They-
So many bodies. They show off so many bodies in Law's backstory.
But Law is able to escape, and he ends up on this island, and he finds out that this notorious pirate crew is there, and he is just like, I
I have
hate...
strapped bombs to myself. If you don't let me join your crew to kill people, then I will blow up everything.
And Doflamingo goes, ooh!
This kid's cool.
And he basically, Law becomes this, like, child soldier for Doflamingo, in the same way of Baby 5 as well.
I'll be able to join the family. Meanwhile, Corazon shows up, who is basically this gangly dude who is apparently a brother to Doflamingo.
Doflamingo's brother.
And he runs up and he sees Law, and it is the funniest shit where Corazon and children is the definition of on site.
Anytime he sees a kid, he's beating the shit out of him.
Jinsu, Corazon and children are the definition of on site.
It's not on site, because that would imply that the children have a chance.
No, it's on site for Corazon.
Yeah,
Oh, he sees child. That looks throwable through window.
It's like a beaver, where you're just like, do they think that do they know what they're doing, or do they just see a bunch of running water and go, absolutely not?
Yeah, Corazon grabs Law and just chucks him out a window.
It's so funny.
It is so funny.
Live.
He keeps doing it though. He keeps fucking throwing him out windows until one day when Law catches him off guard and is just like, I'm gonna fuck him up. And so he grabs a knife and tries to stab Corazon. He gets him.
He gets him.
And Corazon looks up and is just like, and Buffalo sees it and he's like, I'm telling. And so
Child Buffalo, one of the worst designs in One Piece.
He's worse than his adult design.
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah.
That's the funny thing. But
he's the opposite.
Yeah, he sees this, and so he goes. You think he's about to tell. Next episode, turns out he was bribed by ice cream. And so Corazon doesn't tell anybody.
Yep.
And eventually, as Law is hanging out talking to everybody, this is the point we get the reveal that he's a member of the D Clan. And Corazon drags him away, puts him in a bubble that apparently allows him to talk freely. As he can talk, he just never has. He talks to Law about what he just heard of like, listen, I know you're a member of the D Clan. You need to understand. You have to be very careful with that and run away.
And Doflamingo will kill you.
Because Doflamingo and I, it's not very good of, we're going to have a very tough time with you because the D Clan are enemies to the Celestial Dragons to the point they are called the enemies of God.
That they're referred to as demons. And it's funny how it's just like, but you never say anything to your brother because I have nothing else to say to him.
Yeah.
That was an interesting little bit.
Yeah. This is also when we got Doflamingo's backstory, which is crazy, of basically, this is messed up.
Yeah.
Of his dad wanted a peaceful life living among the mortals. Right off the bat, holy shit.
Right, already wrong.
I want to live among the people because we're also human.
Mm.
So he goes down and he sees them and he's like, "Oh, we're not from here actually. We came from Marijois. Your celestial dragons? Yes.
Kill them."
So they get hunted down like animals.
Yeah. So
Doflamingo's family gets hunted down like animals, leading to his mother dying of wounds, and his father, his brother, and Doflamingo basically hung up on the wall.
Strung up, yeah.
They're strung up as Doflamingo's the only one who doesn't apologize of like, oh, I want to live. No. When I get let down, when I leave this place, I will return for your blood.
Yep. The child Doflamingo is still like he's even more of a little shit than...
He's even more unhinged.
Unhinged and just a little shit. I would say worse than Killua.
Actually, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Killua at least has some kind of moral standard.
Gon.
Yeah.
but
no,
yeah,
even beyond that, he has moral standard of like he doesn't like to kill.
Yeah,
much.
But Doflamingo is out for blood.
Yeah.
And he basically gets coerced by
Yeah, it ends up he finds what's his name? Treble.
Treble.
He finds Treble, and they end up becoming friends as Treble gives him the string fruit
and a gun.
And is like, here's a gun, here's the devil fruit, go.
I believe in you,
my baby boy. Shut the fuck up, my sweet baby boy.
Yeah, and Doflamingo finds his father in Corazon,
uses the gun,
and his father is dead.
He executes his father in front of Corazon.
And both of them together.
Do you remember what Corazon's actual name?
It was
starts with an R.
Fight the power.
Thank you, Jitsu, for making me think of Gurren Lagann.
Rosinante.
Rosinante.
Yeah, his name is Rosinante. Don Quixote Rosinante.
Yeah.
And so yeah, he ends up joining with this guy and is like, well, this is my story now. I'm going to be king of the world. And we get this shot of like all the current family members.
The wave of terror that the Doflamingo family instill on their trek from the North Blue all the way to Dressrosa.
Basically, it shows this amazing shot where you see like every member of the Doflamingo family at that point bowing down to him as this rubble pyramid, essentially what looks like a staircase, essentially going up to Doflamingo, staring over them.
And the only one not bowing is
Remember that
Rosinante.
shot. Remember that shot. Remember that shot.
Okay.
Remember that shot.
Oh, wait, what shot again?
Hey, Jinzu, remember that shot. Remember that shot.
But,
remember that shot.
In this time, like around this area is when Corazon like leaves for a little bit from the family and all that kind of stuff, and then comes back, and then suddenly that's when he stopped talking and all that kind of stuff. Turns out it's because he got picked up by the military, world government, by the Marines, and got brought before Sengoku, and he basically became a secret agent for Sengoku.
Yep.
And Sengoku equated him to a son. And he, Corazon, when he finds out that Law is a member of the D clan, he takes him and tries to do everything possible to find a cure. And like they full on like have abandoned the Doflamingo family. And Doflamingo's just like, he has done this before, so I'm not gonna fault him yet. But then obviously, why the fuck haven't you come back, Corazon?
Yeah.
Danger, too much danger, can't come back. Oh, okay. And then there's a moment where they find out that the op fruit has been discovered. And the op fruit is exactly what Doflamingo needs to become immortal. And it's exactly what Law needs to survive his lead poisoning, because he's going to die when he turns like 13, I think it was.
Like 10.
Or 10, yeah. It was 10 or 11. It was like Gohan age.
Young.
But yeah,
he turns young.
So like they were full on like running out of time, but then turns out like they found out about that, and Doflamingo's having a setup with like trying to buy / steal the fruit from.
What was the price?
It was like $1 million, 3 million, 3 billion,
Way more.
billion.
No, way more.
Fuck you, trillion,
10 billion.
more billion.
Oh,
But,
no, it was either 10 or 5 billion.
Yeah, but so it's the Marines found out about it, gave the information to Corazon, but they're still gonna go in. The pirate crew that's there gets absolutely fucked. And who's the son of the captain of that pirate crew? Drake, a member of the worst generation.
I know what Jinzu was thinking there.
Yes. Which one were you thinking?
To call me on
You used to call me on your transponder snail.
click click.
You used to call me on Den Mushi.
Shut.
You used to call me on your snail phone.
Snail.
You used to
phone.
call me on bada.
But so they like Corazon gets in, he
Got
gets
Drake.
the fruit. He uses his fruit, which is like an area of silence, where he literally breaks open a window, throws in a grenade. Like they don't hear the window smash. Everybody's just like, "What the fuck is happening?" And then explosion, but you don't hear it. So everybody's just like, "Huh? What was that
He
shaking?"
beats the shit out of Drake's dad.
He literally just jumps in, grabs it, and runs.
You
But
remember which one's Drake? Diaz Drake?
the one who turns in the sword guy who turns into the dinosaur.
Oh.
Yeah. Fuck you.
Yeah.
But
Not that Drake.
But so they go.
I'm gonna shave a heart into my hair, cause that's cool.
You the heart pirates.
No, unfortunately, it's Drake Bell.
Damn, so you lesbian? Me too.
You into women? Me too. Looks like we got something in common.
God, Drake, the kind of guy to have in his trash can a bent tin can, a banana peel, and the bone of a fish.
Fish skeleton.
Fish
And a
skeleton.
core of an apple.
Corn.
And the core of an apple.
But yeah, so he gets the fruit. Like it literally runs in, blows everything up, runs out with the fruit, and as
Gets
he
shot up!
gets shot as well. Yeah, but he can't.
Well,
but he ain't gonna
Yeah,
stop.
not from the pirates themselves. No, he slipped.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that his whole quirk is the fact that he's very clumsy.
And it didn't go away just because the plot didn't need it.
It's all an act. You don't understand. It's all an act, me being clumsy. Lights himself on fire.
You're literally on fire.
Maybe it's not an act. I like that.
Maybe I'm a little stupid.
So he's.
I like that his quirk actually is important to the plot. That's
Yeah.
what gets him actually killed.
Yeah.
The thing that is always a joke of like, oh, I'm kind of quirky. I kind of trip whenever something happens, and it's just like, no, he trips and he almost dies.
Not relevant. But yeah, but he dies. He's like about to die, but he still gets the fruit to Law, who eats it. but he has still no idea how to use it.
Doflamingo's coming, or no,
Doflamingo's there.
yeah, Doflamingo's coming, but basically, oh wait, no, it was because Law was like, I need to go find help now, so he goes to the Marines that were showing up on the island. Which Marine does he find?
Steak Man.
Virgo.
He finds Virgo. As Virgo was an undercover agent for Doflamingo. And Law just goes, "Hey, random Marine, I need help over here." And he's just like, "Oh, okay." And then he walks over and just sees Corazon there on the ground. And he's just like, what was this message you wanted to give him to the Marines? Oh, you're a spy.
I guess I'm the new Corazon.
Yup. And
so brings in the Dofi family, and they drop the birdcage, killing everybody inside. And as they're walking through, they end up getting to Corazon, who has locked Law away in a chest to make sure that he doesn't die.
Yeah.
And he puts a silent bubble over Law so that he can have one last conversation to Doflamingo, as he basically admits how much he loves the kid. And that this entire time he's done it out of sheer love of taking care of this kid.
And Doflamingo goes, shame, and using the same gun that he killed his father with.
It's a shame that Steve Jobs died of ligma.
Who the hell is Steve Jobs?
Ligma balls.
Ah!
And he just
and
pops
Corazon
one and his brother
is dead. And just
he
so
doesn't die yet.
Oh wait,
That's the most impressive thing. As Law, okay.
let him die.
Oh my God! It was the most fucked up thing of like. They were trying to hide away Law, and they get the news that some kid was taken in by the Marines. It ended up being Drake.
It being Drake,
Diaz
yeah.
Drake, and he was taken away, and that gave Law the excuse of he must not be here anymore. So they take all the treasure and they start getting away, and Law is still silent, which means Corazon is still alive, and he's keeping alive through sheer will. As he manages to get away, what ends up happening is Law manages to start stumbling away, and he's screaming the entire time, screaming, crying.
The fuck was that noise?
It was a hiccup. I have very weird hiccups.
That was a very worrying hiccup.
He's trying to run away. You watch as Corazon in his last moments are just like, you're almost there. Soon you'll be free. And in the last moments, the scream starts to fade back in as you can tell Corazon is dying. He's finally just about gone. And missiles are erupting onto the island, scaring away the Doflamingo family. And Corazon dies.
Yep. Meanwhile, Law already...
Corazon.
Rosinante is dead.
And meanwhile, Law gets found by Doflamingo and is just like, alright, I could use you now.
No.
And... Wait, that's when he breaks away? Okay.
He breaks away.
Okay, yeah, okay. But he becomes the Heart Pirates because Corazon was the heart, all that kind of stuff. So we cut back to back to the present when
Bellamy versus Luffy. So this is the important fight right now, right?
Shut up! No!
Of Bellamy repeating his past of like, you need to kill me in order for you to continue your dreams.
Luffy,
you
shut up!
Kill me! And one punch knocks him out.
Yep.
As Law is dead.
Because Law is shot by Doflamingo using the same gun again.
I'm gonna use this gun. Bam, bam, bam!
And with a bunch of back and forth of Luffy finally
Goodbye, definitely Law.
Of Luffy finally getting back up there after defeating Bellamy, and Law being on the ground dying. They do some weird magic, replace the room, replace themselves stuff. So Luffy is literally finally
I'll
up.
fix you later, man.
He's finally in and finally punches Doflamingo. It doesn't work.
We got some crazy shit of Luffy getting ready to fight, and as he's fighting, this whole thing where you get the reveal of Law obviously switch places, and so he's like, I've got a plan. Shares the entire plan, and Luffy's like, oh right, I don't do plans, but let's do this.
You could do that.
My plan is to run in and punch him. Perfect, that's a part of my plan. Ooh, okay. So
I like this plan.
I approve.
Law makes his way, and Luffy makes his way, and he's about to punch him, and as he's about to punch him, Law switches places with him, and
with Doflamingo.
Yeah, no, he switches place with Luffy.
Oh yeah.
That was the one that was earlier, where it was like, okay, sick of plans, you dumbass, and so he switches places with Doflamingo.
It's a
and
fun
Luffy,
thing.
Does the Red Hawk into his gut.
Yeah, it is very interesting, just the way that Law's on the fly, switching everybody around with like a random piece of rubble with another person, all that kind of stuff. It's honestly showing off why he has one of the strongest fruits.
Yeah.
And so none of this is working.
You remember the reason why the fruit was so important to Doflamingo?
Because the person sacrifices themselves who has the op fruit to make someone immortal.
Yep. Do you think that we've seen some? Do you think that there's somebody in the world right now that is immortal?
Probably. People have lived around for long times in this show, and people.
You
have
think
been
good or
around.
bad?
It's up to whatever Oda thinks is relevant.
There you go.
But,
Good answer.
But the
But yeah.
entire fight with Luffy and
Gamma knife.
Oh.
Law uses the gamma knife,
Yeah.
a new ability that he just fucking made up right now. Law's fruit really is the I do it because I can
Yeah.
fruit. The op fruit ain't no lie. It is the OP fruit.
Yeah. Yeah. But so while Luffy and Doflamingo, like, Law eventually leaves and has to start doing some stuff to set up for his other plan. And Luffy is just doesn't have, by words of Doflamingo, you don't have the mass to hurt me. And because every time, even when
don't have the cojones.
every time that Luffy tries hitting him with just any of the regular stuff, it just isn't working. So what does Luffy do? Gear 4.
No.
What?
I was trying to mention gamma knife. Basically, Law put a fucking hole in his gut, melted his organs. And so this is the point when I want to lead up to my favorite shot of as Law has like stabbed him in the gut and it's like he's killed Doflamingo essentially. Doesn't work, leading to Law getting his ass fucking handed to him.
Oh, yeah.
Of like, oh, I'm just using strings to fix my guts.
Stay in. Daddy needs you.
It's literally that, in all fairness. Of literally the entire point of the gamma knife is that it melts your insides. Mm-hmm. It disrupts them so much that it melts them. And so you just see, like, all the strings in there mixing up his shit. And so...
Why do you think I wanted to skip it?
Throws him on the ground, and Doflamingo goes to step on his fucking head, and Luffy catches it. In this epic shot of, like, Luffy just... fucking foot in the air holding Doflamingo's foot as they both use Conqueror's hockey on each other.
And meanwhile, Law at the bottom of them.
Yeah. And it leads to basically you get this whole encounter with Treble where this is when Treble loses.
Yeah.
Where Treble tries to fight and go a whole thing with him and gamma knifing him.
Yeah.
And that takes out Treble.
And turns out he's skinny.
Also has chains, so it's possible that he was a slave of the Celestial Dragons. That's my personal idea.
Crush your claw.
And so it leads to we've got now it's Luffy versus Doflamingo, which leads in to Gear 4.
Because Luffy needs the mass. And
He fucking floats up with a cloud surrounding his neck. He floats up with a cloud surrounding his neck, and his sandals fall off as he...
No, he takes off his sandals. He, like, kicks them off.
I swear he floated up and they just fell off as if he was, like, ascending.
He's like, I did actually come up with a problem with needing more mass.
And then you just hear sound of metal clanging. Toing, 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 as he's bouncing.
And, in order to actually... In order to actually power up, he literally he covers his arm with hockey and then he blows air into it when you blow raspberries on your arm and it's like It's literally sounds like it looks like that, but he's actually blowing air into him, and he full on powers up and triples in size, becomes this giant, reminiscent of Monster Luffy from Thriller Bark.
Gear 4! Bonesman is his fucking voice, and I love it.
And Luffy has shown off Gear 4. And when he does, he full on, keeps
This is
decking.
ridiculous. Punched in the face.
Yeah, Doflamingo's just like, this is stupid, and Luffy's just like, but I'm beating you.
Did you know that all the black stuff that's on him
Is
it's hockey,
Haki.
and non-hockey users can't see that.
so they just see a fat.
They just see Luffy chubby as fuck, and they're like, "What the fuck?"
The funny part too is that his legs are completely like unchanged. So he's very much just like this. Like he's the epitome of skipped leg day.
That's one thing I liked about it. How it like the sound effect for Gear 4, you get the fucking like the clang noise, the tung, tung,
It was like
tung.
a bell inside of a balloon.
Another way to put it, it's like two pans.
That too.
It's like you grab two pans and you smacked them against each other once.
What are you gonna
And you
do
keep
with
doing
this? Why are you smacking together two South American birds, toucans?
Pans.
Pans. I know. I'm changing reality. But
Reality
so
can be whatever I want it to be. But yeah, you get the two clanging pans. And meanwhile, with Gear 5, which we see later on, obviously you get the sound of Looney Tunes.
the Looney Tunes stuff. Yeah.
Boing, boing, boing.
It's very funny how this one is like Gear 3, but more condensed and includes hockey more into the actual thing. It doesn't add on to it, it's incorporated into it. And he has now the mass, as he doesn't have Gum Gum Pistol anymore, he has Kong Pistol.
Yeah. Yeah, how you feel about the Kong pistol?
It's amazing. Not as amazing as what the other one is.
How do you like the Kong set
Everything.
of moves?
It's very funny, and the fact that he can't.
How do you
walk,
like King Kong reference?
he can't walk normally. He has to bounce everywhere. It's the best part.
You know the actual best part though?
What?
He can fly.
Oh yeah.
He flies now?
He flies now.
Yeah,
And-
no, his entire thing is that his feet are bouncing so fast that he's flying.
And everybody's like trying to stop the birdcage at the same time, and he full on like hits Doflamingo into the wall, and he like gets taken down for a second, but none of the birdcage or anything gets taken. Like everybody thinks that he's defeated.
If I had a nickel for every time a character was able to fly through very weird methods, I would actually weirdly have a lot of nickels.
And then I'd be confused about where all these nickels are coming from.
But I wouldn't get more nickels because that is how many characters are. But no, it's like, I will say that the whole flying weird, like I've actually seen that several times, and it's my new favorite thing of creating a new method to how a character can fly.
Nothing will top the way that Godzilla flies.
That is a good one, honestly, of like, it just... But there's Godzilla, there's Doflamingo where he can grab clouds.
Where he hangs on the clouds. Yeah.
There's Luffy where he can bounce his legs so hard that he can just propulse himself away. And like a recent one, funny enough, is the show Undead Unluck, where the entire thing is the fact that the undead guy can regenerate so fast that he literally just launches his legs. He basically like explodes his feet off so that he can fly.
What the fuck?
There's so much force in his feet coming back that it forces him into the air, and
Oh,
he
God.
can fly.
What the fuck? All right.
It is the goofiest shit I've ever seen, handled with the most horrifying thing I've ever seen at the same time.
Yeah, but so when we think that Doflamingo is defeated, because the fight is definitely not going to be half an episode.
I hate to say that is kind of the case for this one. Of it's like Luffy wins, Luffy loses, Luffy wins, Luffy loses. Doflamingo has the ability to turn everything into strings. Luffy wins.
Yeah, and just the fact that Luffy had to like he got past the time limit that he has for Gear 4, so he needed 10 minutes to recover, and it became this really well done time, oh my god, down to the wire, can they stop the Birdcage from killing everybody or Doflamingo from killing everybody before Luffy can get Gear 4 again and absolutely kill.
Very, very important stuff. Very, very important stuff. Everybody pushing back the Birdcage. Violet has massive tits.
Again!
Very, very important stuff.
Yeah! And
that did make me lose it, of just all this important shit happening, and then you just see Violet and her massive tits.
Yeah. So they finally slow it down enough, and Luffy restores all of his because using Gear 4 uses up all of his hockey, so he has to use 10 minutes to recharge it. And when he finally gets it back, he just shows up, And Doflamingo's like starting to lose it. Like the cracks are finally appearing in his facade of his smiling face and all that kind of stuff. He tries to do like the spiderweb attack on restored Luffy, and Luffy just goes, I need something stronger than Kong Gun. King Kong Gun!
Yeah.
And he
King
uses
Kong Gun, a giant fist.
basically Gear 3's while in Gear 4.
Yeah.
And
It's Gear 3, but with a massive amount of hockey and also the condensed strength of Gear 4.
yep, air pressure. And uses that single punch to defeat Doflamingo. The birdcage is gone. Everybody starts recovering in the entire place. And there's a weird little thing that happens where Rebecca was like, Kyros is about to just leave the country, and Rebecca just had to never see her dad again. And Luffy helps kidnap her from the castle, takes her to her dad, and is just like, you two enjoy being together, you idiots.
That's about usual.
And in the meantime, the Marines are going to go after
Fujitora in this moment.
They're about to go for Luffy, but then Fujitoro's just like, wait, need to make sure, and he rolls a dice.
Let me roll my dice real quick. Let's see if I'm able to catch him. Nope. Next day, let me try again. Nope. Next day.
Yep.
Why not?
Fine. And as it becomes a huge race, as Fujitoro finally
showed up to help.
All of the Straw Hats and
Well,
Barthol.
no, that's what I'm saying. Of like, who showed up to like, be like, why aren't you going to catch the pirates?
It was what's her face? That
Suru and Sengoku.
Sengoku himself as like a retired rear admiral sort of thing. He just shows up and is just like, Fujitoro, come on.
Fully into his retired phase.
Yep, he's more chill than Garp now.
Yeah.
But so working together, Luffy and all of the Straw Hats work together with Bart and all of the other people that were in Dressrosa fighting the Doflamingo family. And there's this huge dock. They get to the ship. Fujitoro almost destroys them, but he just doesn't because I don't think.
Wrong.
Yeah, this is wrong. I'm not gonna do that.
You're wrong.
What?
He doesn't crush them because of who comes and saves the day.
Oh, the people. Yeah.
The people of Dressrosa start running of like, you kidnapped our princess. We gotta stop you. And then one kid says to his dad like, oh wait, Dad, he didn't actually kidnap Rebecca. No, shush. We're doing it so that Fujitora doesn't kill them all.
Yeah.
And he's just. This is my favorite line from Fujitora, where he gets to recognize how good of a person Luffy is. And he just says, I wish I could see the color of your hair, the color of your eyes, the curve of your smile. I'm betting you have a kind smile.
As he lets
you make
Luffy...
me wish I hadn't blind myself.
And he lets Luffy and everybody go. And this is where they set up the Straw Hat Fleet. And they say it in the worst way possible to try and convince Luffy to to have his fleet, because they're just like, you have to take this thing of sake. Because
we'll work under you.
Because we'll work under you and all that kind of stuff. Shut up! You guys are stupid. I hate
friends.
that. You're my friends, and you're gonna be here when I need you, and I'm gonna be there when you need me. Okay.
And then Zoro, I drank the sake.
You guys serve me.
Done.
And the Straw Hat Fleet is born.
The one person who did not join the Straw Hat Fleet, I can tell you right now why. Bellamy. Bellamy is no longer a pirate.
No longer a pirate.
He is no longer a pirate. He retired, and wonder what he's doing now? We actually get to find out what he does now.
What?
It's not from an episode or anything. He's making flags.
That's amazing.
He retired to become a flag maker.
Yep. But so the Straw Hat Fleet, they go and they start like doing everything that they need to do the setup. They have Tontadas. They have the Haizruden for making the new Elbath pirates.
They have
a bunch.
Thousands under their control.
They have Sais with them and Baby 5 to that whole fleet of that that group or whatever kingdom. Wait, was it kingdom?
It was a kingdom.
Oh, okay, it was.
It was a kingdom's army.
A kingdom's army, yeah. Okay, but yeah, so they have a ton of support, and Bart takes the main Straw Hats on his boat.
What is it?
A giant made boat of the Mary, Chopper.
Before you say the name, you have to say this in front of Jinzu. Jinzu.
We see Bartholomeo's. We see his boat.
Okay.
and it's literally a fan, like as if someone tried making the Mary and then also made a couple of extra bits. So there's Chopper's
Imagine
hat.
the Mary made in their image, in the Straw Hat's image.
So like Chopper's hat is on it, Luffy's face.
Luffy is the mast.
He's the mast.
Is like the
masthead.
Okay.
Masthead.
Masthead.
It's
The mast is the center pole that holds the sails.
And
then
then
what's it? The figurehead. Luffy is the figurehead. Like the mermaid that's always the front is
it's
Luffy.
Luffy. And he's taking them to Zoe.
Yep.
And that is the end of Dressrosa.
To the last bits, first off, it's called the Going Luffy.
The Going Luffy.
The 1,000 Luffy.
Yeah.
Thousands Luffy. 1,000
That's
years.
if the Going Luffy ever gets sunk.
I've got another one set up just in case.
The 1,000 Robin.
Oh.
Robin, let me be your slave.
Oh my god, wait, it's just Robin's face, but with like all the hands for the point of the sun.
Yep. That's
And
amazing.
so, when it comes to the last bits, we get, first off, the final words of Doflamingo. He basically says, you better kill me now for multiple reasons. Of one, a new age is coming. One where there's going to be a fight for supremacy. A war bigger than any we've seen before. And also, you're going to want to kill me now because I already know people are going to be gunning for me. What do you mean? I know a secret about the world government that they don't want out, is what he says.
And
He has a secret about the world government that no one else knows.
And there is a beast greater than him. As one of the one thing that I will say from the post thing that'll be kind of the last that we talk about is what happens when the news gets out for Doflamingo's defeat, and Billy the Kid is just like, fuck, he's... Wait, it wasn't Billy the Kid, it was...
You are right, it is
It's
Kid,
Kid.
but his name is Eustace Kid.
Eustace Kid, yeah.
He's
Eustace
not
Kid.
based on Billy the Kid.
Yeah, I know. I was
Kid
like,
the Pirate.
wait, that's the cowboy one.
Yeah.
But Kid and his like little alliance that he has is just like, great, they did that, and then a giant explosion happens outside, and they go, what the fuck?
Can I read it?
You can read it.
I'm gonna find it.
And remember, it's
But-
the last thing that we're talking about in the story. It's the last thing we're talking about in the story.
In that case, go ahead and mention the whole Sanji thing.
Oh,
Bounty posters.
Yeah, the bounty posters. They finally updated Sanji's poster. As Bartolomeo has everybody's updated bounties on his ship. He always has the up-to-date bounties on the Straw Hats. And also the limited edition ones. And everybody that he had there signed their wanted poster. And he is freaking out. But yeah, Sanji's no longer the drawing.
Yeah. He finally has a new wanted poster, and it says "Wanted alive."
Alive. Just alive. Not dead or alive. Just alive.
Alive.
Everybody else is dead or alive. But mainly dead.
Except for Chopper. Wait, is he?
I think Chopper's dead or alive.
Yeah.
Chopper's is... Oh, wait, doesn't Chopper go up to 100 now?
Yeah.
He's up to 100
to 100.
berry bounty. Even though he definitely deserves to be one of the higher ones.
Wasn't he one of the main offensive forces of the group?
Yes.
For a bit, yeah. Then I think that's when Frankie...
Yeah, I think before Frankie came in, Chopper was like the main brute.
Because he
for-
definitely was, like, his human form is definitely the same size as Frankie, pre-time skip.
Is the devil fruit fuck, what are they called?
The human fruit... Whose?
It is Paramecia Zoan.
Zoan.
So are the Zoan fruits like you turn to the peak of that animal?
I think so. Yeah, so Chopper is technically like the...
He's peak human.
peak human.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Do you think Sengoku would turn into peak Buddha?
Maybe.
You think he wouldn't?
I mean, it was. I heard that. I heard the whole the thing turns you into the peak thing of the species thing. I think
Yeah.
that was from Ben 10.
Oh, yeah, the
No,
Omnimatrix
it actually
function.
is the whole thing with devil fruits as well, though.
I'm pretty sure.
When it comes
Yeah,
to the zones,
they wouldn't get you the
only-
weakest.
There's only one exception, though. There's
What?
only one exception when it comes to mythical, which is the Buddha fruit.
Yeah.
He's
Right.
not the best Buddha there's ever been.
Like,
no
one ever was.
But he's pretty damn close.
But he's
It's
pretty damn
because
strong.
He's the only Buddha.
Yeah.
Right.
That's his entire thing.
But yeah, so how far back are you going?
This was a man who was
I think-
desperately
I
in
think-
search
Oh,
of
wait,
a place to
he's-
die.
I think Chopper's fruit should be mythical because humans are so strong.
This was a man in a search for a place to die. He'd had an eventful life. As a pirate, he had tasted defeat 7 times. And on 18 separate occasions, he'd been captured by the Navy or enemy ships. He spent quite some time as a prisoner and suffered through torture again and again. I have to find the video because there's no... His objective was to take his own life by the unusual means of plummeting off the edge of a sky island.
Onto Kids Island.
Yeah.
When he was hanged, the chain crumbled into pieces. When he was sent to be beheaded, the guillotine blade shattered. When he was to be impaled, the spear broke. Additionally, he sank a total of 9 prison vessels. In other words, no one was capable of killing him.
And who is it?
His name was Kaido, King of the Beast.
We get Kaido's introduction. The warlord that... the emperor that held Doflamingo's leash. Oh! And that was Dressrosa.
The way he looks is so good.
He is an imposing force, and
This
I
man
can't wait.
who longed for a place to die, King of the Beast, Kaido.
And yeah, he falls from a sky island onto Kids Island. It just gets up and just says, didn't die.
I can tell you right now, when it comes to the entire thing of Kid facing one of the 4 emperors, mind you, that's his entire goal. His entire goal is to kill the 4 emperors.
But not that emperor.
All of them.
Well, yeah.
He wants to go after all of them. So Kaido's right in front of him, one of the 4 emperors. Kid looks at this and is just like, fuck. And along with all his guys, we'll see what happens to them later.
Yep. But there was initially...
The Kid's dead. No.
Initially, we find out that Kid, his first target that he was planning on fighting before Kaido showed up, was Shanks. He was planning on... He did fight Shanks?
That's the entire thing. He made a union because he realized he wasn't strong enough.
Ah, yeah, okay, yeah.
Want to know how we know that he fought Shanks?
He doesn't have an arm anymore?
Yeah.
And take. All right.
Actually, there are thoughts that it wasn't Shanks that did it.
Lucky Roo.
Ben Beckman.
Ben Beckman. Okay. Favorite character of Dressrosa.
Senor Pink.
Senor Pink.
Lauji.
Lauji.
I know you.
It's
Lauji.
Lauji.
Shut the fuck up. It's Lauji.
So,
Jinzu, from what we've said, who's your favorite? What was your favorite story from Dressrosa? What was your favorite part of Dressrosa that you've seen, that you've heard, whatever?
I think Law's backstory was pretty good.
Law's backstory.
You know it was reanimated?
Reanimated?
It was but there was basically there was this drama live action thing that was made for in celebration of One Piece's 100th volume. And of all things to reanimate, it included a bunch of backstories for different characters, as well as the fight with Longring Longland for Zoro and Sanji.
Yeah. Oh, that one
was reanimated, and it was done so well.
Yeah.
But Law's backstory was reanimated.
Interesting.
The only other 2 things that you don't know yet are both from Wano, unfortunately, so you can't see them
So
yet.
I still can't watch it.
Once we see that, that's when I'm going to put these on, because holy shit.
Yeah. But yeah, so Lauji, favorite character. Favorite, do you still agree that Frankie is
Frankie's
the
MVP.
MVP? Gear 4
Is one of the best moments.
I do like when a
You know
new
what? No,
form
my favorite moment is Kaido's introduction.
is Kaido's introduction. More than anything in Dressrosa. The end of Dressrosa that doesn't even refer to anything in Dressrosa. Setting up
I'm not
Kaido,
going to lie, yes.
the King of Beasts.
Well, you know what that's the equivalent of? Getting a massive teaser for Whitebeard at the end of Alabasta.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's essentially, like, imagine if Ace and Blackbeard's fight was at the end of Alabasta.
Yeah, that's kind of what it would be.
Yeah.
So
That's what this felt like.
That was interesting. I got a question.
Yeah.
Doflamingo, what color is his eyes?
Smash.
What? No.
What?
That's not what I asked.
What color are his eyes?
Yeah, because we never seen his eyes.
I know what color his eyes are.
What are they?
Black.
And blue.
No, they're black.
And blue.
Like every other character in One Piece.
Just not like Nami or some other.
No, I
character.
know. Because they're women. Women have color in their eyes.
Crocodile.
Men don't. His were gray.
Frankie. Oh wait,
Also black.
also black.
Luffy,
No, but
also
sometimes
black.
red.
Sometimes red. Well, that's not his eyes. That's
Or is it?
not his real eyes.
Realize. Realize.
Yeah, but no. When got any other interesting question?
My question is whether or not people is Crocodile or Doflamingo.
Which villain is better?
A villain character as a villain who's better, and then as a character who's better.
Ooh, you know what, Jinzu? I want to hear you answer that first.
Jinzu. Doflamingo, Crocodile. Who's the better villain character, and who's the better character?
Damn.
Yeah.
I think Crocodile serves as the villain better because we didn't see him for a long time. He was just talked about. He just kept talking about it and talking about it. But Doflamingo was kind of all over the fucking place.
He's like, "Hey, what's up? It's me."
But definitely the more characterized character is Doflamingo. He has more of him to go around.
He's someone that you absolutely see, and you're just like, you know exactly what he's about when you look at him.
Did they show Doflamingo's backstory?
Yes.
Yes.
I like Doflamingo's backstory too.
Yeah.
I thought that was really good. I was
And
like, damn.
The fact that he's still in defiance while being held against the wall and blindfolded and shot with arrows, that he's still defiant and still thinks that he's better than everybody, calling for blood.
Yeah.
Answer to both questions, by the way, is Dofi for me.
Dofi for both of you, for that. But I do like that you did bring in Crocodile, that how he was so mysterious leading up to it. I did like that. I feel like
They've been building
Doflamingo.
up Dofi for fucking 600 episodes.
Yeah,
That's the thing. They've been building him up for 600 episodes. When you think about it,
I feel
his
like
first appearance was back in Jaya.
I feel like it was more of like Oda made this character and went, "Ooh, I really like him," and then definitely like had him pop up a lot more.
Let me give him a funky walk.
Yeah, he's definitely more visually interesting, I will say.
He made it seem like when I first saw it, I thought that maybe Kuma was like one of his lackeys with
Yeah.
the way that it was set up.
Yeah.
Big guy behind the small guy.
But no, it turns out that he's just
No, Kuma's just cool, and Dofi is the most insane motherfucker you've ever seen.
who thinks that he's in charge all the time. Yeah,
But yeah, character-wise, yeah, no, he's one of the best.
he's also visually better than Crocodile. I will admit.
Visually, I still lean Crocodile.
You say Crocodile looks better.
Actually, I would say, yeah, Crocodile for me, for several reasons.
You don't like the pink jacket?
No, I like the pink jacket. I actually really love the pink jacket. No, it's actually, I just like Crocodile's appearance more because he's got a more cold expression. Dofi is like maniacal evil.
Yeah.
Crocodile is cold. Like, there are some shots where like you see his black hair like falling over his face, and it's like, Jesus Christ.
He's definitely menacing.
He's a cold motherfucker. That is his title.
Yeah. And
What about you?
I definitely see. I definitely like Crocodile more, but I do see the appeal of Doflamingo and his like whole, like his master plan and all that kind of stuff was actually a lot more like up the scales and all that kind of stuff with which he actually succeeded in what Crocodile was trying to do.
He's one of the few characters where everybody looks at it and goes, "He's coming back."
He's coming back. He's too good of a character to just be gone.
Some people are already betting on it on Impel Down 2.
Basically, yeah. So that was Dressrosa.
Yeah.
What's next?
Up next, we are visiting the island of Zoe, an island full of furries.
Oh, what?
Big titty furries.
What?
In particular, I hate to say, you'll want to smash a dog.
A dog. Oh God.
Dog girl.
Is that Jinzu? Is that the best advice that I could be given for what advice can you give me to prepare for Zoe?
For what?
Zoe.
Remember Zoe?
The next island after
Island
Dressrosa.
of furries.
That
the animal
apparently
people.
that apparently is awaiting us.
Quick heads up, the bunny girl is 15.
Oh,
It's okay. That's a dog girl wearing Nami's bra.
Nami's.
Yeah.
They share.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you everybody
Yeah.
so much for watching. If you liked it, subscribe.
Also,
for
Chopper
more.
gets a girlfriend.
Yeah. Hell yeah. If you liked it, subscribe for more, and we'll catch you all.
reindeer.
We'll catch you next time. Anything to add, Jitsu?
No.
He just did.
Bye. If you want to see more of our content, you can find our YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter on our Linktree at linktree/greenvillains. That's linktr.ee/greenvillains.